Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. People demand freedom of speech, as a compensation for the freedom of thought, which they seldom use. To dare is to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to dare is to lose oneself. Once you labeled me, you negate me. Prayer does not change God, but it changes him who prays. I see it all perfectly. There are two possible situations, one can either do this or that. My honest opinion, and my friendly advice is this: do it or do not do it, you will regret both. Face the facts of being what you are, for that is what changes what you are. The tyrant dies and his rule is over, the martyr dies and his rule begins. The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. The most common form of despair is not being who you are. The most painful being is remembering the future, particularly the one you'll never have. I feel as if I were a piece in a game of chess. When my opponent says of it, that piece cannot be moved. Trouble is the common denominator of living. It is the great equalizer. One can advise comfortably, from a safe port. Purity of heart is to a one thing. Since my earliest childhood a barb of sorrow has lodged in my heart. As long as it stays I am ironic, if it is pulled out I shall die. I begin with a principle that all men are bores. Surely no one will prove himself so great a bore as to contradict me in this. Life has its own hidden forces, which you can only discover by living. During the first period of a man's life, the greatest danger is not to take the risk. Personality is only right when a man has made the truth his own. Love does not alter the beloved, it alters itself. It belongs to the imperfection of everything human, that man can only attain his desire by passing through its opposite. There is nothing with which every man is so afraid as getting to know how enormously much he is capable of doing and becoming. Faith is the highest passion in a human being. Many in every generation may not come that far, but none comes further. At the bottom of enmity between strangers lies indifference. Old age realizes the dreams of youth. Look at Dean Swift. In his youth he built an asylum for the insane. In his old age he was himself an inmate. If I am capable of grasping God objectively, I do not believe, but precisely because I cannot do this, I must believe. It seems essential, in relationships and all tasks, that we concentrate only on what is most significant and important. Far from idleness being the root of all evil, it is rather the only true good. If you don't have many friends, that means you have a lot of life experience. There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true, the other is to refuse to believe what is true. What if everything in the world were a misunderstanding? What if laughter were really tears? Be that self which one truly is. Boredom is the root of all evil, the despairing refusal to be oneself. Love is all, it gives all, and it takes all. The highest and most beautiful things in life are not to be heard about, nor read about, nor seen, but, if one will, are to be believed. What is a poet? An unhappy person who conceals profound anguish in his heart, but whose lips are so formed that as sighs and cries pass over them, they sound like beautiful music. God creates out of nothing. Wonderful, you say. Yes, to be sure, but it is what is still more wonderful. He makes saints out of sinners. People understand me so poorly that they don't even understand my complaint about them not understanding me. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Don't forget to love yourself. Our life always expresses the result of our dominant thoughts.